Now, this story should be running 24/7 on every major news network around the country, because what has been exposed is out of control and it's outrageous. And it's one of the ways that the Democrats allegedly have been able to finance and fund the little weak protests that they've been having around the country. You know, the No King's Day protest that let this have been 4 or 5 years ago. Man, it would have been hundreds of thousands of people out in the streets in major cities all across the U.S. Why? Because they had their piggy bank that we know as USAID. See, we found out with Doge that USAID was being used by the Democrat Party as their slush fund, funding all of their black ops, domestic type of uproars and protests and destruction like they did in the 2020 Summer of Love after the whole George Floyd situation and countless others that they've done, funded through USAID. Now, when Trump and Doge stopped that, the Democrats have been reeling since that time and saying, oh, people around the world are struggling. They're not getting their food, just to find out that things like $20 billion for gay Sesame Street production and crazy crap like that, and $5 billion over here for transgender queer studies in Malaysia and in Africa, all types of crazy stuff. Now, some of those things that I threw together was just an example of how ludicrous it is out there. But this story is off the chain, and you see it right there. GoFundMe created 1.4 million fake pages of nonprofits and had them running on the internet, where people were going to these pages donating to what they thought was their favorite charity. Now think about it, 1.4 million fake pages. So if they only got $1 on each one of those pages, that's $1.4 million. If they got $10 million, that's $10.4 million. And if they got $100, each one of those, I don't even need to go into those numbers. We're talking about hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars that have been funneled through GoFundMe on these fake pages. And guess who is at the root of all of these? There's a platform that we all know of, and I'm going to reveal it in this video. Not only am I going to reveal that, I'm going to let you in on just how the heat is coming down on the Democrats through this alleged money laundering scheme that they've been running. Let's get into this. Now, this article, I'm going to read a little bit of it, then I'm going to get off into this video that's really going to break it down for us. A new product from GoFundMe is intended to solicit donations for nonprofit organizations. But in one local case, several organizations had no clue that these pages even existed. Dave Dornless is the treasurer for the Friends of San Bruno Public Library and the president of the San Bruno Amateur Radio Club. Recently, he got a call from the library that left him puzzled. One of our patrons at the library, they wanted to make a donation in someone's name who had passed away, Dornless said. Dornless said the person went online and found a GoFundMe page tied to the library's nonprofit and wanted to know if it was legit or not. It was something that we did not set up and were a little concerned about, Dornless said. We weren't sure what was going on. Turns out GoFundMe created the page, but Dornless had no clue, and he's not the only one. GoFundMe has taken upon itself to create nonprofit pages for 1.4 million 501c3 organizations using public IRS data, along with information from trusted partners like PayPal Giving Fund. According to the company, this allows individuals across GoFundMe's 200 million strong global community to easily discover and donate to nonprofit organizations, helping them support causes and charitable missions that they care about, even if the organization hasn't actively created a GoFundMe campaign. Let's get into this video. So as you hear, GoFundMe created 1.4 million fake donation pages. Well, I say fake, but donation pages that the nonprofits had no idea even existed. So the money had been going in. The nonprofits have been getting the money. Where's the money going? Not to mention their tip feature. So check out this report by the news. And then I'm going to show you the investigative report of what's been happening to individuals and how you going to want to have to check your information to make sure that you are contributing to a cause, organization, or people that you knew nothing about. Check this out. And then I'm going to show you what's been happening to average Americans and their money and how it's been going places that they never anticipated, never intended, and never requested. But check this out first.
Into a new product that GoFundMe uses to solicit donations for nonprofit organizations.
Except in one local case, the organization had no idea. 7 on your side, Stephanie Sierra is live with the story tonight. Steph.
Yes, Alma and Dan, GoFundMe has created nonprofit pages for more than 1 million charities using public data. But as we learned from a local 7 on your side viewer, some of these nonprofits are unaware these pages even exist. Dave Dornless is the treasurer for the Friends of the San Bruno Public Library and the president of the San Bruno Amateur Radio Club. Recently, he got a call from the library that left him puzzled.
One of our patrons at the library wanted to make a donation in someone's name who had passed away.
He says the person went online and found a GoFundMe page tied to the library's nonprofit and wanted to know if it was legit.
And it's something that we did not set up. We weren't sure what was going on.
Turns out GoFundMe created the page, but Dave had no clue. And he's not the only one. GoFundMe has taken upon itself to create nonprofit pages for 1.4 million 501c3 organizations using public IRS data along with information from trusted partners like the PayPal Giving Fund.
Which really make it easy for nonprofit organizations to connect with our community of over 200 million on GoFundMe. And so what we were finding is people were already coming to GoFundMe to organically support nonprofit organizations.
Krista Lamp is the senior director of nonprofit communications at GoFundMe. She explains some nonprofits will claim the page, meaning the organization has full visibility over donor data, donor stewardship, branding, and how they choose to leverage their page. But according to Dave, both the library and radio club nonprofits were not claimed, leaving him frustrated GoFundMe didn't consult him first.
If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up because I will never ask you for a cash app or a super chat, but you hitting that like button, it helps enough get the video out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe. And whether you're already subscribed or subscribing now, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all. YouTube has issues with the notifications, but when you select all, YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos.
And the fact that they would just on their own build pages for nonprofits that they've never spoken to is a problem. I'm a believer in opt-in, not opt-out.
Based on his comments to us, is there an opportunity in the future for GoFundMe to contact these nonprofits directly prior to creating the pages?
I think the more we can communicate and speak to the nonprofits directly is always beneficial for us. We plan to do even more communication directly to nonprofits.
Dave says he struggled to find anyone to contact from GoFundMe about this, so he reached out to 7 on Your Side for help.
Only after you became involved, they contact us. They also solicit a tip of 14.5%. In other words, they say, we're doing this and we're great people and give us 14.5% to do this, which doesn't have to happen. And that's what bothers me.
When we checked, the optional tip was actually set for 16.5%. The consumer is required to move the bar to adjust accordingly.
These completely optional contributions really make it possible for us to offer our fundraising tools, our customer support, and really support our global team of trust and safety experts.
The tip would be in addition to a 2.2% transaction fee GoFundMe charges nonprofits, plus 30 cents per donation. That fee goes up to 2.9% for individual fundraisers. Now, both GoFundMe pages of Dave's nonprofits have been removed from the site. Any organization can do so by clicking unpublish on the.
So as you just heard right there, 1.4 million fake pages that were created without these people having any idea of what's going on whatsoever. And if it hadn't been exposed, now you see how the media is downplaying like one local, 1.4 million have been getting donations. And here's the kicker. The fact that GoFundMe has so much money and they're running these pages, what they're doing is they're doing sponsored ads. And that's where you use, let's say, Google, and you do what's called pay-per-click, where you bid an amount of money. It could be a few cents. It could be a few dollars, where if somebody said a animal charity in Dallas, Texas, or a cat farm in Toledo, Ohio, whatever it is, but they could do it specific. And if GoFundMe has bid on cat charities, cat foundations, cat farms, anybody that types in those words, they're willing to pay a set amount for that person to click on that link. It's for it to show in the top. So when you do a search, if you ever notice, you'll see the top 3 or so, and it'll say sponsored. Start paying attention when you go to Google. You'll see the top ones that say sponsor, and then below those top 3, you'll have other ones that don't say sponsor. Sponsor means they're paying to be in that top spot in front of you for that specific search term. So GoFundMe having their money could actually bid or outbid a charity, the real charities page. They can outbid them and have their fake charity page showing up higher or even more often than the real charity, drowning their page out. So people that's thinking they're donating to the cat farm, to the dog charity, or to the woman's battered house, whatever you want to call it, they think they're donating to that cause, but really it's just going to a GoFundMe fake page. And again, where's that money going? And then setting the tip at 16% is outrageous. And the average person isn't paying attention The fact that they can adjust that down, most people don't know. They just think they got to go with it. Now, imagine how many people withdrew their donation because it exceeded the amount they were comfortable giving because of that tip. So not only have they taken in monies that should have went to the charities, they may have lost money that was going to go to the charities out of their greed. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsor of this video, Chapter. And here's why. When my mom hit 65 years old, I watched her get bombarded with mailers, cold calls, and all these confusing ads about Medicare. And every single company pretended like they wanted to help her, but really they were just trying to sell her stuff. It seemed like the game was rigged and she was not supposed to win at all. And that's why I'm so excited to share information about Chapter with all of you. Now, who Chapter is? Chapter is a free Medicare advisory service that compares Medicare plans available, and they give you real, unbiased guidance. Chapter is completely independent and always puts customers first. Their whole focus is all about making sure that their customers, the seniors, get the right Medicare's plan. And it's clear that they're making a real difference in the lives of seniors. So if you want real, unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 402-527-1253. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly which plan is right for you and has saved the average senior $1,000 a year. So I'm going to put the number here on the screen for you to be able to contact, or if you visit the website, go to askchapter.org/realpolitics. And for that lady, was her name Christy Lamp, to sit there and act as if like, well, you know, we're just making this easier for the church. No, you're not, because you would have reached out to them and told them. And the processor that works with GoFundMe allegedly is ActBlue. Now, you may or may not be familiar with ActBlue, but ActBlue right now is in heat of itself. And you see, this is from April 2nd, 2025. Fraud on ActBlue. New report details potential illegal activity on the Democrat platform. ActBlue is the main financial processor for all of these donations strictly for Democrats. That is who ActBlue is for. Now, ActBlue has been referred to the DOJ, and there's an investigation going on as we speak. And I'm going to let you hear exactly what was happening and why the investigation is taking place. But going into that, President Trump signed an executive order, right? And when he signed his executive order and this investigation was coming down on ActBlue, seven of the executives quit. So right here, as you can see, ActBlue executives refused to testify before Congress. Several ActBlue officials initially agreed to voluntary transcribed interviews, but withdrew after Trump signed an executive order directing the DOJ to probe the platform for illicit contributions. Reps James Comer, Jim Jordan, and Brian Steele, citing this refusal, threatened subpoenas and letters sent on May 22nd, demanding the official schedule interviews by May 29th or face compulsory measure. So ActBlue has already been caught in the crosshairs. Why? Because of foreign monies coming in from around the world, funding these Democrat radicalized socialists. It isn't American taxpayers that's funding these demon rats. It is foreign money. We talking about to the tune of hundreds of millions. Remember now, you may or may not know, Zohar Mamdani has been exposed where in his fundraising, it is illegal to take foreign money into fundraising campaigns for United States elections. Mamdani had been getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some say allegedly millions from foreign entities, foreign Muslim groups, allegedly, that support his cause. That's illegal. Now, ActBlue is 1,000 times worse than them. And as you can see right here, our least favorite senator, Elizabeth Warren, in trouble after using ActBlue to fundraise for the California fires. You remember when California had those big fires, and you had Gavin Newsom out there put on a fire hat and took a little extinguisher this big and pointed it towards the huge blaze, acting like he was doing something. He was really working. It was a photo op until a mother ran down on him when she caught him in this photo op and put him on blast, expose him. But during that time, they were doing all of these fundraisers to get money to help the people in California. But guess what they found out? They found out that that fundraiser page for the fire, the California wildfire page, was nothing more than a smokescreen front page for ActBlue. Those donations were not going anywhere near California. Those donations that people thought they were putting in to help the people after the California fires really went into ActBlue to help fund Democrat campaigns. Because what ActBlue does, when people donate, let's say if somebody donated to a Democrat campaign in New York, well, the person out in South Dakota or in North Dakota or in Idaho, a Democrat out there is struggling. they're not able to raise funds. So what ActBlue would do is take that money that people contributed to help the campaign in New York, redirect it and divert it to Idaho or to South Dakota or to North Dakota. That's what they've been doing. So their support is not real, especially when we find out you got people that are donating money, foreigners by the millions from overseas, and it's being funneled to specific candidates who don't have good fundraising. The people in the area does not support them, but they're able to outspend their competitor, the Republican, because of all of this illegal foreign money pouring in, allegedly. So as you see right here, this is one of Elizabeth Warren's posts, just showing you this is getting with GoFundMe. I'm coming back to that. But as you can see, to help support the communities around LA being devastated by wildfires, can you split a donation between the Los Angeles Fire Department Foundation and the United Way of Greater Los Angeles? 100% of your donation would go directly to these organizations. But here's the kicker. Those organizations, that's the name. But that money is funneled into an ActBlue processor and dispersed every which way but LA. And ask yourself this. Why is a senator from Massachusetts so gung-ho on Los Angeles when Massachusetts is going through their own issues? But immediate red flags. This Northern Democrat senator is pushing people for these wildfires and the United Way of Greater Los Angeles. Why? Because she know that money wasn't going that way. That money was probably going to be redirected and diverted back to help her campaign. And as you see here, this is why we love that Elon Musk brought X. This is not a link to charity. It is a link to a Democrat fundraising platform. They take 3.9% of all transactions. You can donate directly to the charities. Boom. And they got the actual link to the charities. But using that ABC, support that. And like Elizabeth Warren said, it goes directly to those organizations. Yeah. Who send it directly back to the Democrats. Now, it even gets worse than that. What they've been doing is there have been people's names that have been taking off of donation lists that might have donated in the past. Could have been years ago, could have been yesterday. But they have been taking those names and attaching those names to funds being added by mystery people and foreigners. Check out this clip to what's been going on with people, their monies in their bank accounts. Check this out.
FEC data shows that some senior citizens across the U.S. have been donating thousands of times per year. Some of these individuals' names and addresses are attached to over $200,000 in contributions. We went and knocked on a few of their doors to corroborate the data that we received. We're wondering if these donors are victims of what appears to be a money laundering scheme. Cindy No of Annapolis, Maryland, who in the year 2022 allegedly contributed over 1,000 times to ActBlue, totaling $18,849.77. That means Cindy would have had to donate 3 times a day, every day for the whole year. My name's James O'Keefe, and we're doing a story on the number of people that have donated. You did donate to ActBlue, right?
Once in a while.
What about $18,850?
No, I don't think so.
You know people are using your address?
I don't think so.
That's what's happening, y'all. They have been taking, and this is just one, there's clips on clips on clips of people who were finding out that they had tens of thousands of dollars in donations labeled to them, but yet they didn't do it at all. Now, how could this impact them when it comes to taxes? They're showing they contributed all of this money. They're not putting it on their taxes. They're not writing it off because they didn't do it. So if anything funny comes back with these donations, guess who it's attached to and is linked to? And like this one said, this lady contributed 1,000 times, which means she would have to donate 3 times a day the whole year. And she did it once or so a while ago. But this is what's happening. So make sure if you're going to contribute to a charity, you reach out directly to that charity. Don't go off these links that you see online. Also, make sure that somebody isn't contributing donations and to charities in your name, because this is scary. And GoFundMe is a piece of crap platform that now we know is nothing more than an extended arm for the demon rat party. Why else would you create 1.4 million fake pages taking these people's money, allegedly, not telling them about it? Where did the money go? Where's the money? Who's going to account for that? So I just wanted to bring you this story because I'm like, wow, how many people know about this? And the media is not covering it all. So we have to do our part. Remember, these midterm elections are serious, and we have to do everything we can to beat these demon rats back. So let's spread the word. Let's get people away from these ActBlue platforms and get these people on Truth Social. Keep these people on X. Get these people contributing to the Make America Great Again, to America First, to the golden age of America that'll benefit us. not these demon rats who want to see a socialist, communist, Marxist type society where they rule and control everything and the government thinks for everybody. We don't want that. So I just wanted to bring you this story to let you know, these people that we're up against, they are sophisticated, but what happens in the dark comes out in the light. So thank you so much. If you've stayed and watched to this point, I want to thank you from the top and bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate you. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe. Also, leave a comment. I want to know what you think about it. But most importantly, I want you to stay safe and you be great. I'm Brian Maxwell saying I look forward to seeing you at the top. Over and out, y'all.